back. In this video, we'll be discussing the Kings of Napa. Okay, we're gonna do episode 1 and 2 together because I'm a late doing this. I know, y'all. I'm gonna do better. I promise. But before we get started, of course, y'all know I need y'all to like, subscribe, and comment on the video. Also want to send a special thank you to my children. They do everything for me, from editing to making sure I have on my lip gloss to hooking up my little lights, right? So I do want to give them their credit and thank them so much for helping out their mommy, okay? Now let's get into this Kings of Napa. Okay, now it come on, we see wine. We learned that the name of their wine is House of Kings, and I'm like, yes, honey, send me some of this wine because I love it, okay? Then it starts off, we see the family gathering at the house, of course. Bridget and them are all out. August has an idea she wants to bring up at dinner. So that's how we get to meet everybody. Bridget comes to the house. They're hugging. Auntie V throws a little shade and with a little hug. You know what I'm saying? And Bridget says that, you know, Ivy is always comes with love and shade. Okay, August, once again, like I said, it decides at the family dinner that night, they're going to let August discuss her idea. Okay. When we get to the dinner, they're discussing going on family vacation because they haven't been on a vacation in a while due to the pandemic and things like that, right? So they're all discussing where they want to go. They say they want to go to the beach home or to, you know, so it was a whole bunch of different places, different homes and stuff that they have, right? So Christian, who seems to be the most lackluster of the group as far as the family business, decides he wants to go on a beach and everything, and he's like, you know, hey, this is our money. And the daddy was like, hold up, this me and your mama money. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why children feel like because the parents have something is theirs too. No, it's mine. I worked for it. I'll allow you to partake, but it's definitely mine. But we're going to digress from that because they ain't even a big old part of the story. Vanessa I'm sorry, not Vanessa. August is then allowed to, after this discussion, discuss her idea. And her idea was dessert wines, okay? So she presents her idea for the wine. Dana, who I'm going to deem Bitter Betty, and we'll get into that later, decides that, no, that's not a good idea. And I'm really feeling like he feel like it's not a good idea because it's not his idea, okay? And he really just don't see it for his sister. I'm sure we'll dig deeper, right, into their relationship as the story goes on, as the season goes on. But he ain't really feeling his sister. I don't know what their issue is, but like I said, I'm sure we'll see it. So then Dana and August starts fighting or whatever, and Reggie, the dad, tells them that's enough. They are a family, and if they haven't learned to work together as a family now, then. And he on croak on over and fall over the chair, and then we find out, child, he just died. You know what I'm saying? He dead. He ain't coming back. He gone. Okay, and I was like, dang, they kill him off within the first 15 minutes of the story. But okay, let's go ahead on and roll with this. All right, so next thing we have, that's when we meet Auntie Yvette. Now, y'all, I feel like Auntie Yvette gonna be my favorite character in this show, right? Because Auntie Yvette is hilarious to me. Probably because Auntie Yvette reminds me in some ways of myself, right? Because I know all the business. And I'm going to be the one to crack the jokes. Even if whether we at a funeral or barbecue, something going to come out my mouth that probably shouldn't. And that's just what it is. So I like Auntie Yvette. Okay. So we see the funeral, they go up, August gives her speech about her dad. In the process, the speech is overlapping with them bringing him out or whatever. And then we see them at the repast, and we see people standing around. And I'm like, child, what y'all eating at the repast? Y'all know I like food. So I was looking forward to the food, but Aunt Yvette let us know we had the white people and the spirits, okay? And she was definitely feeling her spirits. Y'all, this is my last shake of the day of my 2 shakes in the meal. This one not bad though. But anyway, I digress. Right. So, baby Aunt Yvette cutting up. Dana is already trying to call a family meeting to discuss where business gonna go. And while I understand that's important, it's like, Dana, we at your daddy repass, and that's what you're thinking about? Who gonna run the meet? Who gonna run the business? See, I know it was the reason why I wasn't feeling you, Dana. But we're gonna move it forward, right? So then we see them sitting down there having the meeting, the reading of the will, or whatever. And the sister gets, I forget the job she get, but basically he wants her to promote the wine. Like she promoted her wig business. And I'm like, child, I hope it ain't the wig that she have on right now. But I'ma digress. Right, so she all excited about that. Everybody gets equal shares. He's left enough money for the son, Christian, to start his bourbon business, which is what he wants to do. Dana is going to remain the CFO of the company. Of course, the mama gonna keep everything because it all go to her because she the mama. And he makes August the president of the company. And Dana like, what was he thinking? Did he lose his mind? And I'm like, oh, Dana, you mad? It's not like you don't have no position. Bridget gets to keep her position as growing the grapes along with a hefty salary increase and a little bonus. And I'm like, Bridget, girl, you must be growing the hell out of them grapes. Like, how much growing grapes pay? Y'all, I might go get me a little plant, start growing me some grapes. I don't know. But whatever. Right? So Dana is going off. At this point, we meet Aunt Mel. Okay, Melanie, who is Bridget's mother. And so she comes in and she asks Vanessa, hey, can I speak to you? Because they're sisters, right? I need to speak to you. I need to speak to you in private. And Vanessa's like, you can just talk right here. She was like, no, we need to speak in private. And Vanessa's like, we need to talk right here. And she was like, let me tell y'all something. If somebody ever said we need to speak in private and you be like, no, we can talk about it, like, no, we need to speak in private. Child, go in private, okay? But I was glad they didn't, because now we got the story, okay? So Melanie's like, hey, listen, Reggie borrowed $10 million from me, and I supplied that money to him via my lawsuit money that I had got from the pharmaceutical company, or wherever I believe she said it was pharmaceutical company. And yeah, I'm going to need that back. And Vanessa is taken aback. And so am I. Like, girl, you loaned your sister old man some money without telling your sister? She was like, my husband took out a loan from you. And you had sent us to say, Reggie made me promise not to tell about the money. And I'm like, girl, I don't care what Reggie made you promise. That's your sister. Like, that's who you owe the loyalty to, Mo. Your sister. But we find out Mel is, real disloyal real quick, right? And so she's like, Melanie, you're lying. You're lying. We all know you're a liar. Remember when you were in the airport and you said Denzel spoke to you? Yeah, it was just a poster of Danielle. You're lying. You're lying. You know, it wasn't Denzel. It was a poster. You're lying. And so she's like, I'm not lying. That was in my 20s. I'm not lying about this. So she's like, when was the last time you spoke to my husband? Because, see, you called me and I get a 20-minute conversation for my birthday, but you on the phone with my husband. And she was like, oh, 2 weeks ago. And I'm like, 2 weeks ago. She's like, well, what do you have to discuss with my husband? She said, we had a baby. Bridget, look at her. She looks just like y'all. And I'm like, girl. Not niece Bridget being daughter Bridget. Not Aunt Vanessa being stepmommy Vanessa. Oh, God. I said, this show gonna be messy. And I'm gonna be all in it like this, y'all. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I probably would have punched my sister in the face right at that moment. Like, that's one of the most ultimate betrayals in the world, for your sister to sleep with your husband, have a baby with your husband, and you around here thinking your niece is your niece and your niece is really your stepdaughter. Girl, so she call her auntie or stepmommy. Bridget gets up and walk out, right? Because she like, what the hell? And her whole life is just like, baby, it done blew up in her face, and she's a casualty of this little secret affair, and she ain't know nothing about it. And on top of that, we find out that the mama been bringing her to somebody's grave, y'all. Every year, I believe they said in June or July, the mama been bringing her to somebody's grave every year and letting this poor little baby grieve over some little random stranger. I'm like, nah, that's fucked up. You told her daddy was dead when her uncle was really Uncle Daddy. Baby, they must have, baby. I wonder if they was talking to Portia, or Portia knew these people down to the own when she was trying to make Dennis Uncle Daddy. Cause that's what Reggie is to Bridget, Uncle Daddy. Girl, child, I guess it's something that's going on these days. I don't know. Anyway, Bridget gets in her car and she pulls off. Vanessa turns around and tells August, listen, Bridget can't come back. Even though in the will it say Bridget keeps her position and Bridget gets, her salary increase and a bonus. And Vanessa don't give a damn about that. Well, Bridget ain't coming here. That's her husband's illegitimate child, and she can't be throwing that up in her face. And that's how she now sees her niece. And I'm like, dang, that's harsh, Vanessa. Like, I understand being hurt, but you gonna make your niece, who you were very close to, suffer for what your sister did. I ain't gonna lie. I make my sister suffer. I be like, girl, you could chalk them 10 million up. You ain't getting them 10 million. I don't care. Just like that, you had that secret love affair with my husband, baby. That $10 million is a secret. Thank you. Good day. That was your P. Charge that to the game. Like, I gotta charge my niece as my stepchild now. Charge that 10 million to the game. I wouldn't have been mad with my niece. I wouldn't have took that out on my niece. Over my sister, she would have caught these hands. And she would have just been 10 million short, because I wouldn't have gave her nothing. That would have been my stance on it or whatever. But we gonna keep it moving. Okay. Dana, he don't give a damn. Even though the auntie done just came and blew up the family and he just found out his cousin, his sister, he's still like, but wait. How she get to be the president? I was the CFO. I was been the one running everything. And she like, the mama like, did you know about the $10 million loan? He was like, no, I knew nothing about it. And she like, that's why you not the CFO. And he's like, but you can't blame me for this. And I'm like, Dana, get over it. Your sister got the position, get over it. And that's your sister. Y'all work together and make the company go bigger, right? But child, Dana ain't trying to hit it. So, Yvette and Melanie meet up. That's the auntie, right? And she was like, Yvette was like, girl, you was supposed to take that to your grave. You wasn't supposed to say nothing. You supposed to take that to your grave and child, let it rot with your soul in hell, because I can't imagine you going to heaven screwing your sister husband. But that's just me. I'm not the Lord. I don't have a heaven, a hell, or a purgatory to put you in. But child, you nasty. But anyway, and she was like, listen, my brother loved Vanessa. Okay, you remember that man I had back in the day? And Melanie like, yeah, girl, he sure could play some spades. She was like, he loved gambling. Gambling, who he loved. My brother loved Vanessa just like that man loved that gambling. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, child, did he? Because he was sleeping with her sister. But okay, if you say so, you know what I'm saying? And she like, child, I'm Ray Charles to this. I don't know nothing about it. And Melanie like, yeah, you knew about it. We all in this. And I'm like, ooh, Yvette, this gonna come back to bite you, because Auntie Vanessa done already asked you if you knew about this, and you told her, no, I didn't know nothing about this. And she's like, but you sure? You sure you didn't know nothing about this? Because you and your brother are like this. Y'all talk all the time. Y'all practically invented the Zoom call, okay? And I'm like, child, when she find out that you lied to her, she might fire you next, Auntie, or whatever. So next thing you know, bitter Dana, he is still acting a fool because August got this job. So he's gonna shoot down every idea she have. And I'm like, sir, stop it. All right. So then they meet at the lawyer's office, okay, and they propose a settlement of $5 million or whatever. And Auntie Melanie at first wasn't trying to hear it, but then she was like, I take the $5 million settlement as long as Bridget retains her job. Okay, long as Bridget can go back to work, I'ma be cool. All right. So I'm like, girl, child, make sure you get that in writing and make sure if they default on it, because your sister don't seem like she really feeling it. Well, she said no, she can't work it, no, or whatever. And I still feel like Vanessa, you down bad for that, because your niece ain't had nothing to do with this or whatever. But she go ahead on and she get the they agree to that or whatever, and they keep it pushing. All right, and then Melanie tells August, no, I'm sorry, let me back up. Because Vanessa says, no, she ain't doing it. And Melanie said, you really want to take this to court? You really want to find out and let everybody know that your life isn't perfect? Because you see, I know every verse and chapter in the book. And I'm like, girl, not every verse and chapter in the book. Well, start spilling it. Start spilling it right now. I don't want to wait all season. Start selling it right now. Because, girl, what you know about this book and the verse and the chapters and the sentences and the periods and the exclamation points? Let it be known. Okay, she said, and she will spill it. And I'm like, girl, spill it. Spill the tea. Okay? And so then she just sat up there and looked and, so they're going to come to that agreement or whatever. And then when she leaves out, Melanie tells August that she doesn't really know her dad. He's not who she thought that he was. And that she better be prepared for what's to come. And I'm like, ooh, all right, so what's to come? And then next thing you know, August get a phone call like, hey, yeah, what's up? I expect you to keep these payments that your dad had been making the payment. And you better have my money, basically. And I'm like, Lord, not the extortion. So he done had a baby. He done borrowed $10 million and he was being extorted. Child, this man is dead. And baby, I ain't even mad at it. He said, the hell with this. I'm tired of dealing with all of this. Beam me up, Scotty. You know what I'm saying? He had too much going on. That's why he dead. But I don't know that, y'all. That's just my opinion. And that's how the first episode go off. And I was like, damn, all this in one episode? The sister sleeping with the sister husband. The daddy was being blackmailed. He had to take out a $10 million loan. And I'm like, Lord, what was he into? Because they say he was a surgeon or something. Like he's some kind of doctor. And then on top of that, y'all got the wine. And I'm like, you ain't got enough. Maybe it was the student loans from becoming a doctor he was trying to pay off, y'all. I don't know. Okay. So the episodes open up. Zayna is sitting at the table in episode 2. And he counting down. And Christian like, she got all right to be, she got a little all right to be a little late. And he like 48, 49. And I'm like, sir, you acting like this child was 20, 30 minutes late. I know we not counting down seconds. August ends up coming in within a minute or whatever. Okay. And she starts talking about her plan. About the dessert wines. Of course, Bitter Betty, Zayna, tries to shut it down. Okay. And he comes up with his little graph saying how dessert wines don't do this, but baby, August was ready for him. August was like, yeah, that's because the dessert wine industry, the vendors or whatever, they're in France or whatever. Okay, and so it costs a lot to import it into America, but we can be the local distributor in the United States. And I'm like, come on, August, you better know your information, because he acting like a real bitch. Okay. Trying to shut down your idea because he mad because dad ain't make him the president, because he already the CFO. He want to be the CEO, the CFO, the president, baby. He want to act like he done came up with the king's wine himself, okay? And I ain't here for Zayna. And his little wife was trying to, have his back. And I can't really be mad with her because as a wife, of course, you're going to have your husband back. But then I'm also probably feeling like, yeah, she only gets to retain her job as long as she's married to the son per the will. And so, yeah, she wants him to get up there and run things, because if she decides to leave, it's you know what. You know what I'm saying? She still be, get like a little hefty let's settlement or whatever, because they ain't said if she had a prenup or they had a prenup or whatever. So she probably, want him to take over. You know what I'm saying? So she can kind of have some more security as far as herself and her job or whatever. Okay. So then we find out August get another call. She pushed forward with her plan. She tell everybody what they need to do. I need you to come up with a social media campaign that's going to attract these many people. Auntie, I need you to go look for some investors for this wine. Auntie like, yes, I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be in Paris. And I'm like, people, Can y'all write me into the script? If y'all gonna be taping in Paris and all that, can y'all write me in the script? I could be Auntie Yvette's daughter because I messages like her. I go on promote the wine. I put it on my Instagram. I mean, you know, I'm just saying. But anyway, I digress. August gets the phone call. We find out the payment is $150 and they want it tonight. Bring it over here. Put it by this tree. Okay? And August, you better not test me. That's what he said. Don't test me. And I'm like, August, you better not test them, girl. Go ahead, get that $150,000. So then we see August and Bridget meet up, and August is telling Bridget about the $150,000 extortion, okay, that she got to make the payment for. And so Bridget like, Lord. And so I'm like, dang, she ain't even told the brothers yet. She went told cousin sister. And that lets me know that her and cousin sister are closer than her and her brothers or whatever, right? And so she was like, well, I don't know. Did you see anything different about him? And August, and that's what August tells Bridget. And Bridget like, no, I mean, you know, he's taking some phone calls behind the venue, but I just figured, you know, he needed privacy and things like that. He even kept our lobster sushi date that we was going on every third Saturday, every fourth Saturday of the month or whatever. And Vanessa, Lord, ain't see Vanessa is heavy on my mind, y'all. See, I keep trying to say Vanessa. That's because I got something to say about her. But anyway, so then she says, you know, August is looking like a standing date. And she was like, well, no, not a standing date. We just go once a month while we used to have sushi while he goes to the bank. And August like, my daddy ain't never did that with me, nor did my daddy go to a bank. And I'm like, girl, so the daddy is having secret outings with the niece sister, the niece daughter, sleeping with the auntie. Child. So August says she gonna go to the bank and find out, because Bridget lets her know that the bank is right across the street from the sushi restaurant that they used to go to. So she was like, girl, I ain't gonna just give you his banking information. She like, I got his death certificate. So she go up in there, she find the bank, she see the records or whatever, she get the account, yada yada yada. So then she gets back to the house. Christian and Dana in there playing some virtual reality. It looked like they was having fun. I might want to give me one of those. No, I don't need that in my house. No, I don't. But anyway, she tell Christian get out. Christian like, this is my room. And she was like, get out. And Dana was like, well, she does run a company, get out. I'm like, oh, okay, Dana, because she won't come talk to you in private. Now she run a company, get out. Now we want to give her some respect. Anyway, I'm going to give you grace right now, Dana. I'm going to give you grace right now. So she lets Dana know. Dana was like, no, you need to tell mom this, that, and the third, or whatever. Bridget is, you know, in the house. And I'm like, Lord, Bridget, why are you in the house? Some people that lady don't want you in the house or whatever. And so she said, you know, August gets another phone call. And August is like, this is them. And Dana takes the phone. Look, listen. Who do you are? Do you know who we are? I'm like, clearly they know who y'all are. That's why they know y'all got the money. And what you gonna do, Dana? What you gonna do? Dana said, I'm gonna call the police. Baby, the extortion man, because we don't know who that is. The extortion man said, it's gonna take you 3 minutes to call 911 and 11 minutes for him to get here. Meanwhile, I'm 3 minutes away from grabbing your mama. I'm like, ooh. You still want to call the police, Dana? Or you won't pay that money? Because he on y'all property. But they decide to go pay the money. August tells her mom somewhere in one of them scenes, like, you know, you sure you're able to do this? You're sure you're up to this? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to do what I need to do, yada, 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 yada. And so they go out to the dad's award ceremony. She's accepting awards for the dad, all right? And they leave to go pay the ransom or whatever. Baby, when they go to pay the ransom, Bridget got her a gun. She got it from her mama. And Dana like, ain't Mel be packing? Ain't Mel really about that? Like, child, I want to know what Aunt Mel was around there doing to the Africa. Down to the Africa where she was before she came. Okay. So she makes the payments or whatever. They drop the money off, and then they see somebody watching them, so they hurry up and leave. And I'm like, baby, Bridget got the gun. What y'all running for? Dana, you was talking all that cash money. You was running faster than your sister, cousin, and your sister. But I digress. So then they go and eat. They go out and eat out, and they discuss it. And Dana's like, he's telling mom, and Bridget's like, and August like, no, you know, dad says family first. Don't say anything. This is gonna put mom over the top. And then Dana, of course, goes and tells his wife. Okay. And so then Dana tells August and Bridget that he's not keeping a secret. He's telling the mom more about it, okay? Then Dana goes off and tells his wife. The next day we see Dana, his wife, and his mama. And she was like, Dana's like, oh, we went to a diner. She was like, you don't like diner food. And his wife was like, tell her. And I'm like looking at the wife like, shut up. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Shut up. Because at the end of the day, I don't understand how the dad being extorted and somebody being this close to grabbing your mama and killing her or taking her off somewhere, whatever they was going to do to her, right? I don't see how this situation can be used against August, because August ain't the one who got y'all in this situation. Your daddy the one who got y'all in this situation. But Dana wants to try to use this, him and his wife, to knock off August out of her position. All right? Because he's just that damn bitter. Like, damn the fact somebody was on y'all property that close to snatching up your mom. You know what I'm saying? Damn all of that. Like, I want the position, so I'm gonna do what I gotta do to get Dana out, to get August out the way. And I just don't like Dana. I think matter of fact, he's gonna be a BBB. Bitter, because that's what he is, okay? That's what he acting like. Just my opinion. If y'all see it differently, drop down in the comments and tell me. And before we go on, I want y'all to know, remember, like, comment, subscribe, okay? Hit that notification button so you be notified whenever I do a video, okay? Now, child, August walks in. Y'all know I'm bad with names. I'm going to get this together before we get started. August walks in and catch Dana and his wife, and so she comes up with another story, and Dana ultimately ends up going through with it. And his wife is like, really, Dana? And I'm like, yeah, really, because you should have shut up. You should have shut up. But I digress. Child, so Bridget shows up, come running in with some love letters that she done found or whatever that the daddy wrote to her mama. Baby Vanessa walks in after that and she snatches them letters, give them to me or whatever. She reads them or whatever. And then she stalks off because the ladies, whatever they was, I'm going to call them the ladies auxiliary. Okay, the ladies auxiliary of Baltimore was there for their tour. Baby, she stalks off, okay? And she proceeds to tell them all the business, okay? She told the ladies auxiliary of Baltimore all the business about how you don't give up, because she could have been Barbara Walters or whoever. She said Joy Reid. That's what she said. She could have been Joy Reid right now. But she gave it all up to support her husband. And child, she told them what she said? The house of King's wine is built on black excellence and infidelity. Enjoy your tour. This is the end of my tour. And Dana was like, we're going to give y'all all a bottle of wine. And the women standing up there like, and I'm like, Lord have mercy. Baby, if I was on that tour, I'd have been clutching pearls that wasn't there too, because she done went sold all the business. She was like, F the company at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because we find out, like, child, it's some love letters, it's some cassette tape, and on top of that, Aunt Melanie knew about the blackmail. So now I'm feeling like, while even though Aunt Yvette said that he loved Vanessa, yeah, he loved the Vanessa, but it seemed like his connection was with Melanie, because Melanie knew all his dirt. They still had the baby. Melanie was the keeper in the books, and I'm like, well, this is why Melanie know the chapter, verse, the stories, and the punctuations. You know what I'm saying? Because baby, she seemed like she was his lover, his secretary, and his confidant. Ooh, child, that's something else or whatever. So now the auntie tells Bridget she definitely can't come back around. She definitely gotta go. Bridget goes home and go off on her mama. And she like, because I'm still family. You know what I'm saying? The Kings are my family. Baby, that karma came right back around with a knock on the door in 2.5 seconds. Hey, I'm sorry, things are just not good right now. I'm not gonna be able to let you do it. I can't hurt my mom. This is my legacy. So cousin sister, who been saying she had your back all of this time, Bridget, she's more concerned about her legacy and how this is gonna affect her if she have you back. And so you got to go. She giving you the boot. You can't come back. And I'm like, but the King's your family. Child, they don't see you as family at all. So what you gonna do about it? So Bridget basically goes off on her and tell her she'll never be the daddy, and she's ruining his legacy and to get the hell out of her house. And August standing up there looking confused, and I'm like, August, why are you confused, baby? Why are you confused? Because you've been playing up to her like you had her back all this time. But when it came down to you versus her, and you feeling like you're gonna lose that position that you got in the company, you let her do it. You know what I'm saying? You let her go. I understand your mama was upset. They like having her back in the house will send your mama overboard. She will kill her and herself. But at the end of the day, your mama is punishing Bridget for something that didn't have to do with her. And I ain't feeling that, but Bridget don't seem like she gonna go laying down. You know what I'm saying? So then after that, and Melanie goes to the house, baby. She banging on the house looking for her sister, and her sister, Aunt Vanessa, basically, to me, she stand up there and lie because she said she would have supported August and bringing Bridget back if that's what August wanted to do. So it's like she tried to lay the firing of Bridget upon August when you pressured her to fire her. You deactivated her key card to get in. You don't want her on the property. You don't want her more on the property. I understand I want her more on the property. And you kept saying how she couldn't handle it. She couldn't be there. You couldn't have it. You couldn't have it. You couldn't have it. You put that battery in your daughter back to fire her sister cousin. Okay? That's what you did. Now your daughter being your daughter and wanting to respect you and how you feel, she did what she did. And Melanie's like, we had an agreement. And she was like, you can't do this to my daughter and ain't Vanessa. It's basically, I don't give a damn about your daughter. Your daughter. It's how she feels about it, okay? And I'm like, hey, I can't even be mad at Aunt Vanessa for feeling how she feels towards her sister, but I still feel like, man, let that girl tend them grapes. She ain't got to come in the house. She could just be able to do the grapes and go about your business, because Christian ain't making it with the people. He done bought some cognac and some KFC buckets to try to feed them people while they working, in the old black man like, no drinking on the job. We gotta do this machinery. Like, he don't even know what he's doing. Like, that's not even his passion and his care. So when them grapes come out sour and y'all wine be nasty, ain't Vanessa, make sure, you blame yourself for that. That's not August's fault. Well, that is August's fault, because August should have stood her ground and did what she did. And Mel is hollering about how she's never seen her child like this. Depression running our family, baby. And Aunt Vanessa ain't care. She ain't budging, and she is going off, okay? Auntie stepmama ain't trying to hear it, okay? And then you see August face in the background looking like, as if she's starting to feel a bit of remorse for firing Bridget. And I'm like, girl, don't act like you care. Don't act like you care now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, now y'all did have that agreement with Aunt Mel. So I'm wondering if Aunt Mel gonna take them back to court. Like, since my daughter can't work, I need my whole $10 million. Because she had just had the lawyer do it in light of them being on the ransom. She was like, hey, she'll take this much and she get the rest, take the rest on good faith, long as the monthly payments come or whatever. But part of that deal was Bridget having her job. So I'm wondering now if Bridget gonna buck her mama up to go back to the lawyer and was like, they are already in default. I do not have my job back. We want the whole $10 million. Plus, I want my compensation that was guaranteed to me per the will. I don't really know how that's going to end up coming along, but them cousin siblings ain't going to be cousins or siblings if they don't get it together. Okay, and then it goes off with them arguing, and Aunt Vanessa turning around to tell August, you know what I'm saying? Wait, what she said, y'all? Because I don't want to mess it up. I liked it. I ain't liked it what she said. She tells her, business is brutal, but family is a beast. And I'm like, girl, you ain't lying. Because your sister was your husband's confidant, not yours. And she ain't loyal to you, she was loyal to your husband. And it seemed like they had more than just a fling. And then she tried to make it like, hey, you was out of town with somebody else. We were studying, we got drunk, baby. Nah, this was an ongoing love affair, and I think it was still current. I can't wait to see what episode 3 gonna bring, because we 2 episodes in. The La Ransom man till August. I told you, come by yourself. So I want to know if there's gonna be any repercussions for her bringing Bridget and Dana. Baby, Bridget done seem like she about to kick up a war with August and them, and let them know this her legacy too, baby. Like, now that I know who I am, I'ma stand in my birthright. I'm a king too. So y'all, I won't know where this gonna go. I promise y'all I'm gonna be on time this week. I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna be this late doing a video. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see y'all next time.